Hey, what's going on? Aaron here. In this video today, we're going to talk about how you can get rich this year with $0, and I'm going to show you how to do it in 6 simple steps. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I always come with content that will teach you how to be more successful using the power of the internet and technology, so consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, so how do you go from 0 to getting rich this year? Okay, how does this all work? I hope you like the green lights in the background to signify generating more money and wealth. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, how I went from 0 to becoming rich and financially secure, and I'm just going to share those steps with you, okay? The first step, which might be very controversial, but it is really the smartest thing to do, is don't buy dumb shit. Don't buy random stuff. You know, a lot of people these days, what they do is they get the salary at the end of each month and they just buy a whole bunch of dumb shit, right? They buy stuff that they don't need. They buy the latest iPhone, they buy the latest Samsung, they buy the latest flat screen TV, they buy the latest Yeezys, and they're just always trying to keep up with everybody else. They're trying to impress everybody else. So they spend a whole bunch of money taking a nice vacation, they put it on Instagram, they show what a great, life that they really have when actually they don't. And then actually when they look at their bank account, they're broke, right? And why is that? It's because people keep buying stuff that they don't need. You don't need the latest stuff. You need to practice something called delayed gratification. I did that for a long time. And all that means is that you don't need to gratify yourself instantly, right? Every time you think that you need to keep up with somebody else, you need to stop yourself, right? And think, do I really need that thing? So why spend so much ridiculous money on something that's only going to gratify you for a short period of time, but doesn't serve you for the long term? So if you can live below your means, if you can practice delayed gratification, if you can stop buying stuff that you don't really need, then you're gonna automatically save a ton of money. And it does start with having savings in the bank. The second thing that you need to do to get rich this year, starting from 0, is to stop using your credit card. Literally, take your credit card and cut it up. You don't need it at all. The problem with a lot of cultures is that they spend all their money on their credit card. That means that you're spending money that you don't actually have. So what's happening right here is you're collecting debt, right? And the worst thing that you can do is collect bad debt, right? Because when you buy stuff that you don't need, that's not an asset, it's actually a liability. That debt is called bad debt. That means that it's not doing anything for you. You're not making any capital gains, you're not making any returns, you're not making any dividends. It's literally a sunk cost. Does that make sense, right? So when you put your trip to Cancun on your credit card, when you buy the latest sneakers on your credit card, when you buy the latest iPhone on your credit card, that is bad debt. That's something that you have to pay the bank back. And when that debt starts to get really big, you're starting to pay a lot of interest on that debt, and most people can't even cover their credit card loans anyway, and so that debt keeps rolling. It gets bigger and bigger, and they get sunk into a gigantic hole. That's the worst thing that you can do. So what you want to do instead is you want to get rid of your credit cards and you want to get a debit card, because the debit card, at least it gives you that convenience of being able to swipe cards when you need to pay for stuff, right? But the difference with a debit card is you're spending money that you actually have. Now think about this. If you're only spending money that you actually have, you're going to be a lot more disciplined about the stuff that you spend your money on, because you're not spending borrowed money, right? You're not spending the bank's money. You're spending your actual money in your savings account. And that's how I operate, right? For many, many years, I never had a credit card. I only spent money on my debit card because that was coming directly out of my savings account. So I was very careful with the purchases I made, right? Now, it's very different. I use my credit card because I want to get airline points, because I can get free business class travel and things like that all over the world on the credit card. So that's great, right? And you can put all of your business accounts and everything on your credit card because you earn points. But I pay those bills back pretty much straight away. I never let it roll. The bank doesn't make any credit card interest from me. I'm like the worst customer in the world, right? But before you get to that stage, use a debit card, because that again will teach you some really, really good habits about how to spend your money, and you're not creating huge debt, huge loans that you can't even pay back. So again, you're automatically going to be saving more money.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
So if you want to find out exactly how I was able to get to over $1 million in commissions, I would love to show you how to do that for free. I've got a 6-figure workshop that you can check out if you want. All you need to do is go ahead and click the link below and register for that workshop, and then just check your email. Make sure you check your spam folder, because sometimes emails end up in spam these days, and then enjoy the workshop. Tip number 3 on how to get rich with $0 is become a great saver, okay? So strategy number 1, don't buy stupid shit. And strategy number 2, where you don't use your credit card, will already allow you to start saving pretty well, okay? That's going to teach you some good financial management strategies. But strategy number 3, become a great saver. What you want to do here is create an automated standing order. So every time you get your salary, you're going to send a little bit of money from your salaried bank account to a completely different savings account in another bank. That way, whether you're saving $50, $100, $500, $800, $1,000 every single month, that gets automatically put into a completely separate bank account that you don't really see, right? Because you spend all your money from here. This is the salary bank account, right? So let's just say your salary comes into your HSBC account. You want to have an automatic transfer every month, saving $500, $50, $80 into a Citibank account, right? And that money is just money that gets saved up. And the more money you save over the long term, the more you can do with your money. And that's how you start on your journey to getting rich. You see, the journey to getting rich requires you to have some money, right? And the only way that you can have some money is if you become a great saver. If you're not saving money, you're not going to have any capital to launch yourself into the area of becoming rich. And we're going to talk about in the next few steps. Step number 4, you need to get a job, all right? So if you think that you can get rich without a job, I mean, I'm really sorry, but you need to have some income coming in so that you can then take that income and build it up, right? So if you're someone who is jobless, if you're thinking that you can think about the law of attraction and all of a sudden you're going to become a rich and a millionaire, that's not how it works, okay? The way it works is you need to start with a small seed of money, small seed of capital. And the way that works is you need a job. And after you get a job, you become a good saver, you have great spending habits like we've already spoken about in the earlier part of this video, and that little pot of money becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Let me share a great trick with you. Don't just get any job, right? So when I got started in my career, I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And in that book, he said that if you're going to get a job, consider getting a sales job and starting a sales career. Now, a lot of people think that having a sales job is kind of like a dirty thing because, you know, who wants to be knocking on doors, selling vacuum cleaners or whatever it is, right? But the reality is that there are a lot of great sales jobs in the world where they're very, very high level, they're very corporate, and they pay a ton of commissions, okay? So it's not dirty, it's high level sales. I was doing some very, very high level sales for over a decade in my corporate career, and I made a ton of money from sales because you're not just making a base salary, you're also making commissions on your performance. So if you're a performer, you're gonna make way more money than normal people working a normal salary job. If you're in a normal salary job, no matter how many extra hours you put into that job, you're still gonna get the same salary every single month. So let's just say you have a salary job where you're busting your butt 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, you're still only gonna earn $4,000 a month, for example, right? But if you get a great sales job, you could make $8,000 a month. You could make $10,000 a month. You could make $15,000 a month just on commissions alone if you pick the right sales job. So consider getting a sales job. Consider a career change. That's what I did. I never thought that I would be in sales, but I ended up having a 10-year plus sales career. It taught me some great skills. It taught me how to close. It taught me how to be personable, and it allowed me to make a lot of money, which allowed me to build that little pool of capital to quite a lot of money. I was saving a lot of money, which then launched me into my business building career, which is actually step number 6. Build a business, because the only way that you're going to get rich is if you become a business owner. You have to understand that, right? Now, most people that are rich are not salaried people. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people that are in a full-time job that might be a CEO of a company, or they're very, very senior and they're very good with money, and those people have become rich because they've got a salary job. But for the most part, people that are actually rich, people that are actually financially free, they've become business owners. Why? Because running a business is the only way that you can remove that invisible ceiling of how much money you earn every single year. You see, the problem with being in a salary job is you're just going to make your salary every single month. So even if you are in a sales job, you get your salary and then you get your commissions, right? But there's only so much money that you can make. You're limited. But when you become a business owner and you sell products and services to people all over the world, you can create leverage, which will allow you to make an unlimited amount of sales and an unlimited amount of revenue, which then means that your invisible ceiling of making money disappears. And that's how you really become rich. Now, here's a big trick about starting a business. Don't start a brick and mortar business. Don't start an old school traditional business, because there's so many costs, right? Think about this. If you wanted to start a restaurant and I wanted to start a restaurant in 2008 because I love to cook, that business was going to cost me over $250,000 US to start. Now think about that. That's just mind-boggling. Who has $250,000 lying around, right? So what I had to do during that time is I would have had to pay a down payment to the bank of about 10%. So that would roughly have been about $25,000, which I had in my savings account because I worked hard, right? And then I would have had to take a 90% loan. I would have started the business, and then with a restaurant business, it's going to take you like 5 years to pay that back, because in the first year, that's the year that you break even. So that's how slow a traditional business works, all right? And which is why most people fail in traditional business. Not only that, the cost is very high. You have to pay for the construction of your business. You have to pay for the food. You have to pay for staff, salaries. You have to pay for insurance. insurance, you have to pay for uniforms, you have to pay for all the equipment in the restaurant, you have to pay for rental of the property. I mean, there was just ridiculous amounts of cost. And then at the end of the day, a restaurant business only brings home about 20% profit, which is such a low profit margin if you really think about it, right? Starting a traditional business was like, it was like a no-go. And I'm so glad that I decided not to do that. What I decided to do instead is I decided to start an online business. Okay, now the thing about online is you can start all sorts of different businesses these days. You can start a drop shipping business where you're selling physical products from your own store. You can start your own digital agency where you're helping traditional businesses to get leads to their offline businesses, or an affiliate business where you're selling digital courses and digital products online. That's what I do, right? And selling online is really the best thing that you can do because you can create leverage, you can create automation, you can do everything online. You're not only selling to people in your country. Think about it. You can sell to hundreds of millions of people all around the world from wherever you are. You could be living in a tiny little town in French Polynesia in some island somewhere, and it doesn't matter because you have an internet connection and everything is done online. That is the type of business that you need to start. And once you start that kind of business, the amount of money that you can make is endless because again, basically what you've got now is an international business which is 100% online. All right, so now you've got your cash building machine, right? So maybe you're generating $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 plus a month through your business. So then what you want to do is you want to implement step number 6, taking the majority of the money that you're making from your business and investing it, right? You want to make your money work for you. You don't want to work for money anymore. You want your money to work for itself, and that's why you want to invest. And that's how all the millionaires and billionaires get to that status. They are literally investing the majority of their money. See, if you take a huge amount of your capital that you've now made from your business, right? And let's just say you've got $1 million in your business and you make 10% on that every single year. How much is that? That's $100,000 that you're making on autopilot without you even doing anything. Literally, you're hands off. You're not touching any of that money. You're not doing anything. It's literally just working for you in investments every single year. And that's only if you have $1 million. And I know $1 million sounds like a lot of money, but in this day and age, $1 million isn't that much money. Most people have that by the time they're 40 or 50 years old, just in terms of their net worth, their properties and their cash assets and all that kind of stuff, right? So $1 million isn't that much money, but you start with that, okay, eventually once you've built all this up. And obviously you got to do this in stages, right? And I know you might be watching this video thinking, oh my God, Aaron, I can't even imagine having $1 million. But when you follow the steps that I just explained to you in this video, you can get there pretty quickly. You'd be very, very surprised, okay? But once you have that and you put that into investments, again, 10% on that's only $100,000, but that's free money if you think about it every single year. Now, what happens when that pot of money becomes 2 million or 3 million or 4 million or 10 million or 20 million, and you're growing that at 10, 15, 20% in your investments? That is a lot of money, and that's how the rich people get richer. And that's why poor people stay poor. It's because with poor people, they don't even get step number 1 right, okay? What they're doing is they are living above their means. They're spending way more money than they have. They're going into debt. They can't pay off that debt, right? And they're just trying to keep up with everybody else, and they're just like barely surviving. They can't even keep their head above water, and that's why a lot of people never become rich and they stay poor, all right? And this is the difference between people that understand how money works and people that don't understand how money works, okay? So investing is very, very important. Now, what can you invest in? There's so many things that you can buy, right? You can invest in stocks and funds, ETFs. You can get into property. You can buy gold and silver. You can get into cryptocurrency. You can trade cryptocurrency. You can buy Forex. I mean, there are so many different great investment vehicles that you can get into once you get to that next stage, but that's exactly what you need to do. So there you have it, my 6 steps to getting rich this year, starting from zero. This is the exact strategy that I've used to actually put myself in a great position financially. And it's not difficult, but it's not easy either, right? Because a lot of people have a lot of bad habits. So what you need to do is you do need to take action on this. You need to be disciplined. You need to be completely honest with yourself, right? You need to understand, what are your buying habits like, right? Do you like to put things on your credit card? Do you even have a debit card, right? Do you even know how to save to begin with? I mean, these are the different things that you need to consider. And yes, you're gonna have to make some difficult decisions. But listen, what's even more difficult is being broke for the rest of your life. What's even more difficult is getting to 50 years old and realizing that your whole life has been spent working in a crappy job, you have zero money in savings, and you have no idea how you're gonna fund your retirement. That is a very, very bad place to be. Even if you implemented only 1 or 2 of these strategies in this video, I promise you that you'll be a lot further than if you didn't do anything at all. So let me know in the comment section what you learned in this video today. What are some of the strategies that you're going to try? Would appreciate some thumbs ups if you got some value in this video today. And if you would like to find out the exact strategy that I used to get to multiple 6 figures, I would love to show you how to do that. Go ahead and register for my free workshop in the description box below or the comment section, and I hope to see you there. So I hope you enjoyed the video today and you got lots of value from it and you learned a lot from it. If you like content like this, remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you know every time we come up with a brand new video. And if you want, you can check out one of the videos I recorded recently, super fun. You're gonna get a lot of value from it as well, and I hope to see you there. Take care.